Hey, my guys, welcome to episode 41 of the My Guys Magic podcast. My name's Joe. I'm here with my brother Pete. Say what up.
What's up, my guys? Pete here. What up, Joe?
What's up? I hear Winston's a little feet, or is that Penny?
That's Winston. A little
Okay.
tappy tap tap.
Yeah. So this week, we're going to continue talking about the modern meta and our prep for the Baltimore RC and Spotlight Dallas. So we are 2 weeks away from Dallas, 3 weeks away from Baltimore.
Let's go.
How do you feel?
Oh, how do I feel? I
Yeah.
feel good. I got 3 weeks.
Yeah, touche.
But, it's like every week I'm like, I'm playing this. Next week, nope, now I'm playing this.
I mean, I feel like you've been pretty consistent over the course of the last several
Month.
weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think overall you've been consistently on a Mox deck, right? So,
Yeah. All right. We can go with that. How
so
about you?
yeah, I think I'm a little less consistent other than I think I'm less consistent in thought, but I'm more consistent in what I just choose to play and what I've gotten reps with. So, I don't know. We'll see. So, like, there's more decks that I'm interested in, more shiny objects that are distracting me. Whether it's, is it wizards or druid combo or, but what I'm actually getting reps with is pretty much the same thing. So,
Yeah, I got curb stomped by Is It Wizards yesterday.
yeah, while you were playing what?
What was I playing? Is It Cutter?
Yeah. Wasn't is it wizards and is it cutter is kind of the same thing, right? At least according to MTGDecks.net.
Well, I was talking about the Max Kamenowski list that he played at the Pro Tour, I think, or just
Okay.
just just Tameo, Thunder Trap Trainer, and counter spells and burn.
Okay. Yeah. So
Some
just the way that MTGDecks.net has consolidated all of the information, all the decks, basically all of the is it cutter decks are lumped into one. And I checked to be sure that they weren't affinity because there was a time where they were calling it is it metalcraft and is it metalcraft was is it wizards, but then it was also
oh,
affinity too.
it's still like that right now.
Yeah, well, in all the ones that I looked at today, it was I checked and there were it said affinity and it said is it wizards and every is it well it said I labeled it is it wizards, but the website called it is it metalcraft. We'll get into that in a second. I feel like we're
Yeah,
getting
yeah,
a little bit confusing. So yeah, I think what we're going to talk about is what the meta has looked like over the course of the last week. We'll do our usual weekly meta analysis, but then I also want to kind of look more long term and do some predictions for Dallas and the Baltimore RC
yeah. Okay.
with the hopes that we can maybe narrow our decision space by saying, okay, well, this is what the meta is shaping up to be. What kind of deck do we feel more comfortable heading into a meta that looks like this versus this, right? So first off, we'll just kind of jump right into the modern results from the last week, and this is from 13 August to 20 August today. Again, if you are just listening with us and you'd like to take a look at this data that we put together, there's a Dropbox link in our show notes, episode notes, that you can take a look at and follow along with us. Or there'll be a video that Pete will post to YouTube and you can follow along in that way as well. So basically, the process again, if you're not familiar, we take a look at the last week's worth of events, and any event that has 64 or more players, we take a look at those events and compile the top eight, compile the winners, and put it all together and spread it out by percentages. So over the course of the last week, there were 13 events that met that criteria, 11 challenges with 64 or more people. Then there was an event in Manila, and then there was one Super RC qualifier with a little over 300 players for a total of 1,276 players in those 13 events over the course of the last week.
Nice.
So yeah, good numbers to take a look at. So three of the events were won by Espergorios, two were won by Esper Blink. So basically, five of the 13 events were won by Solitude Blink decks, right?
Yeah. Yeah, seems good right now.
Yeah, there was Belcher got a win, Bloodchief got a win, Hollow won. Is it Metalcraft? Is it Wizards? However you want to refer to that, also got a win. Jeskai Control, a Jeskai Energy deck also got a win. Living End and Trudge. So for the sake of compiling the top eight meta, the winners meta across those events, I consolidated Boros Energy and Jeskai Energy into one deck list. Basically, the blue decks were playing some sideboard cards, and Quantum Riddler
Quantum Riddlers, yeah.
is all that it looked like. So I put those together, and then I also consolidated Blue White Control and Jeskai Control. Because Jeskai Control is really only playing red for Galvanic Discharge, and they're playing
Right.
like 2 to 3 main from what I saw. So it's basically a blue white control deck with 2 or 3 Galvanic Discharge. So um,
Yeah,
I think
seems
it
good. I
I
like
think
it.
it's I think it's fine to leave it like that. So yeah, so over the course of the last week, most popular deck, 14% of the winners meta was Gorios. 10% Esper Blink. So again, 25% of the winners meta in those events were Solitude Blink decks, and then still Devoted Druid was still making up 10% of the winners meta. 9% anyway. And then Prowess, Red White X Energy, Demir Frog, 5 to 7%. What do you think about that, Pete? Anything jumping out at you?
Just the Esper Blink resurgence.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice. It's the same deck as it was like 4 months ago.
Yeah. I mean, it was still powerful, right?
Yeah.
People were playing Black White Blink against Breach combo,
Yeah.
last year, basically, or
Yeah, when was
so.
that in Charlotte, right?
Yeah, that was October, wasn't it?
I don't know anymore.
Yeah, I can't remember either. But
But yeah, no, it's nice to see that deck have a little resurgence and watching Devoted Druid go from like the 17th most played deck in the last 60 days to top three here is pretty cool.
so Charlotte was March of 2025.
Yeah.
So like over 16 months ago. Yeah, and it really truly doesn't look that much different from that list. So just the blue. And then there were a
Yeah.
lot of, you know, there was Blood Chief combo. Is it Wizards? Is it Metalcraft? Grixis Reanimator in the 4% bracket. And then there's your typical one-off type decks. A few Trudge, a few Neoform, some Living End, Hollow One, Blue White X Control, Belcher, Boros Ponza, Domain Zoo, Eldrazi Ramp. I was able to separate Eldrazi Ramp and Trudge when I did this analysis here.
Yeah, because they have them listed together.
Yeah. Mardu Blink made an appearance in the Manila event. Shape Anew is trying to put 10 rings into play
Yeah, I
via
saw that. I saw he top
Sax.
aided, right?
Yeah, he got in second, I think. Sacrificing treasure or clue off of Prismari command or deduce to
Yep.
go get one of 2 10 rings in the deck. And then it's just like a Murktide deck otherwise. I don't know. Not sure how I feel about that. One affinity deck. Affinity. People are still playing affinity. There were
Yeah.
two. There were 2 Titan decks in the top 8 across all these events, but they were the Manila event.
Both in the Manila event.
Yeah, which was like an in paper event. So
And people just aren't playing it online anymore.
no. Which are people not playing it online because it's not good enough anymore? And the people at this Manila event just like weren't don't have the time to get the same number of reps as like the online community.
Now, no, I played against it once in the last month online.
Out of how many matches would you say?
Too many to count.
50?
Yeah,
Yeah.
at least 10 leagues. Played Titan once. And it used to be like almost every league, right?
Right.
So I don't know. I know a lot of the Titan players are doing other green things now.
Yeah. Druid combo, trudge type
Yeah.
stuff. So I know we're going to talk about Demir Frog, Blood Chief. We're going to talk about is it Wizards or is it Metalcraft, whatever you want to call it. We'll talk
And
about Blue White
Gorios, what do you think
Control.
about Gorios being at the top here?
Again, I think it's a product of having a Solitude Ephemerate package and then also having a a strong finisher with like the Gorios stuff that you get game one pretty easily against a lot of the format because they have a hard time interacting with the Gorios thing and that you putting in a Trax into play or even a Gristlebrand is pretty hard for them to deal with. And then it has most of the interaction, you know, before sideboard and then after sideboard for sure of like an Esper Blink deck. But I think it's more interesting to talk about why Esper Blink is shot up, and I think that it's because Esper Blink is almost like the control deck of the format in a sense, right? It's like this mid-range pile that is, and it has its own little mini combo with Felia and
And
Bale
Riddler?
Merc. Bale Merc. Yeah, probably Riddler is fine
And
too.
and Baelmerk and Flicker Wisp too, right?
Yeah. So I mean, they're what playing probably a couple Flicker Wisps. So, but yeah, all that. So
Yeah, let me see this list.
what you looking at?
Esper Blank. Yeah, the deck has not changed.
Yeah.
Most Forethoughts seems pretty decent right now.
Yeah, a lot of combo stuff going on. Get that out of here. So now, I guess, what do you think? We talk about how the meta has evolved over time. So you go
Yeah,
back 2 months to a month before the PT, and then roughly a month to about the PT, and then over the course of the last 2 weeks, right? And again, these are not snapshots of the metagame 60 days ago. This is basically what the metagame looks like over the course of 60 days. So I have it labeled as, 60-day average. And I know most of the people that are listening have played with this toggle on Goldfish or, mtgdex.net. You can kind of adjust what the meta looks like over a certain period of time. Um,
yeah,
and
because if you looked at it 60 days ago, Boros was way more than 8%, but that's just the average of
right,
the
it's
last 60 days. So,
it's fallen off quite a lot. But I was actually surprised to see that it was really like still a 6% deck if you considered the Jeskai variants as well.
yeah, it's still sitting in the top 8 most played decks.
Yeah.
So,
So it dropped from 8 to 7 to 6. So I think it's probably gonna be about this for what we see at the RC. I think there's gonna be a lot of people who are unwilling to. I just think that when we play cards, physical paper, people have that much more of a difficult time like getting their new cards together and playing a new deck. Would you agree or disagree with that?
no, I'd agree with that, right? Just
Yeah.
the cost, availability and cost, right?
Right. So what I'd like to do.
We're lucky, right? We not everybody has people they can borrow cards from and stuff like that.
Right, for sure. Okay, so Gorios has ticked up. It seems like it's going to keep ticking up. Is that fair to say? Do we think Gorios is going to be the most popular deck at these tournaments?
I believe so.
Yeah. Okay. And so what percent of the meta do you think it'll be? 10%?
Now we're talking what, Dallas?
Yeah, we'll say Dallas.
Dallas and Baltimore since they're a week apart, right?
Right. I mean, I think they'll be pretty similar. There'll probably be some adjustment, but
I'll
especially
go.
because one is an open event and the other one is an RC.
Oh yeah. That changes things.
It does. It does.
I forget. Is the at the spotlight? Is it open deck list day two or the top eight?
I think day two.
Day two, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you got? What do you think? 10%? I would say probably like 10%.
Yeah, yeah, 10 or 11, right?
We'll split the difference. We'll call it 10.5.
10.5.
Yeah. I hate that. It's doing that. Anyways, okay. What do you think's going to be the next number two spot and why?
Two spot and why? Prowess.
Prowess. Not devoted druid, not blood chief combo. Prowess.
That I think that's what I think.
Yeah.
But why do I think that?
So this was the PT. Prowess was 7%. This was like the last paper tournament. Obviously, the PT is pretty specialized, but
Yeah, that was the end of July, right?
is essentially 1 month ago, almost exactly.
All right, so not prowess then. I think it'll be energy.
You still think energy just because of the
Yeah,
paper?
yeah. Everybody has it.
I think energy will be higher than what it's listed at, but I still think it's probably going to be like one of these two decks. Might even be Esper Blink.
Because Esper Blanks was second over the last week on those tournaments, right?
Yeah. Like the most expensive card in Devoted Druid combo is Badger Cub, which is, not quite halved in price, but it's come down a lot.
It's seen a decline.
Yeah. So I think the rest of the deck is pretty inexpensive.
Yeah, but with the
So
amount of people there, the learning curve that's needed for the deck, I don't think you think a
you
lot of
think
people are just gonna pick it up in the shorter
try?
time.
Yeah, I do. I mean, if you think about Amalia, right, all these decks that people were just like, I'm gonna just play it, even though, people were like paying $10 for random uncommons that went into the Amalia sideboards, right?
All right, well
I don't know.
we'll go with I'll go with Esper Blank in second there.
Okay. And this will be what, 9?
Yeah, 8 or
8?
9.
We'll say 8%. And we'll just say that at
7 or 8,
8%.
right? Yeah.
And then I think I'll go Blood Chief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No Froggy.
Nah, Frog's still pretty low. I don't think people are going to be playing it.
No, when has Demir won anything besides when has Demir mid range won anything in any format?
There was a time, Legacy, it was Reanimator, right? Was destroying.
Yeah, that's not. I'm not talking about.
Blue Black mid range and standard 10 years ago was broken. Scarab God.
Okay, but
All right, so you're saying within recently.
yeah, you're talking
Well, yeah,
about
I
like
mean,
graveyard centric combo decks, kinda. I'm talking about just straight Demir
whoa.
mid range.
Which in standard it was not a combo deck. It was, I mean, Scarab God cost 5 and it cost 4 to activate. It was a very slow grindy deck.
Okay.
And then I mean, even in standard, Demir mid range, right, was had its day in the sun.
Oh yeah, I played it.
Yeah,
The deck was great, but it never won anything.
yeah, it'd win. Come on, it was winning.
Never won anything big, is what I'm saying.
That's probably true. That's probably true.
But
But you,
it has seen an uptick, right? Just because
yeah,
pile removal with Frog seems decent, and in a combo meta, Demir mid seems decent.
yeah. So it's 5% here. I don't think it'll be above 5%. I'm gonna put it down here. I'm gonna say just it'll be a 5%er.
You hate Frog, dude.
No, I don't. I mean, it's. I think that's so. It's gone from not on the top eight list to 4% to 5%, and then the data we have from the 7 day average is that it's a 5% deck.
No, I can get behind that. Boros,
We'll just say what Boros will be a 6%, Prowess be a 6%,
and then Trudge. You think Trudge will
Trudge
be
at
up there?
5%,
Trudge or Affinity?
Affinity. You think? I don't. I think Affinity's fallen off way harder than Boros, right? Affinity was 7% here. It's 5% here, and it's not on this list. I think it's and as a person who played Affinity, I'm just like I'm off it. I'm off the deck.
Now, why is that? All the Wrath of the Skies?
No, I think we were aware of that before. I mean, Boros plays Wrath of the Skies, Gorios plays Wrath of the Skies, the control decks play Wrath of the Skies. Blink is going to be playing Wrath of the Skies. But I think in addition to that, people had a lot of hate for it, and I think it's almost incidental. Like Wrath of the Skies, for example, you play it against a lot of different decks just because it's good.
Hmm.
But it has just like it's hated out by a lot of other incidental things that like people can bring in mystical disputes against it. So they have dedicated artifact hate, and then they have mystical disputes that they can bring in because they're playing them for these other blue decks. And then cards like Vexing Bobble, which are good against some Cascade decks and some combo decks, are also decent against Affinity because you can't cast any of your zero drops.
Yeah, good
So there
point.
you have that hate going against you, and then right coming out of the PT, let's go back to the PT data. So Affinity did not do very well, right? I guess one guy got into top eight with it, but and then my issue with the deck is that I don't feel like I have a lot of agency with the game,
Right,
and
you
I
have to mulligan aggressively, right? And that's
and it's a deck that you can't mulligan aggressively with because you need all the material necessary to enact your game plan. Like I said, I feel like the deck beats itself. If you have a keepable 6 card hand that's very good, you're very high chance to win. But if you mold a 6 and you're like, man, this hand's still really not that great, if your draws don't line up on the top pretty well, you just lose. Like it just doesn't ever really feel like a battle because if they interact with one of your payoffs, you have a bunch of like dopey artifacts left, right? I don't know.
where do you see Neoform?
I see Neoform about the same place as Affinities, probably like a, you know, 3 to 4% deck. So here we'll pull up these.
Right? The deck is crazy, but then it also beats itself, like you said about Affinity.
So from these deck lists, let's plug in what we think is going to be next. I don't think it's like, let's do like the next 4 decks.
Next four.
So you pick one, I pick one. How about that? And we'll make an argument as to why we think that's the case. So I don't think it'll be Eldrazi ramp. We've already got Trudge in there. So we can take that out. I don't think it'll be Belcher because it's not that good.
So next after Demir Frog, go with Control.
Yeah. Okay, why?
Yeah, there, there's a lot of die-hard control players. Scroll back up. I think it seems fairly well positioned against Devoted Druid. It's decent. It's pretty good against Blood Chief.
Yeah,
I
I mean
think
it's
it's
honest.
it's good against Gorios, right?
Yeah, good, I think, is a strong word, but I think the
It's at
matchup
least,
is decent.
yeah.
It's not bad.
It has the tools to beat most of, not all of these decks, right?
Yeah. I
And
think
there's a lot. There's a lot.
prowess is not a good matchup, and I don't think Demir Frog are a good matchup.
What about energy?
Energy is again, I think it's not stellar, maybe a little bit better than fine. I think recent data shows that blue white is positive against Boros, but
Yeah, Boros is much easier to deal with without Flage.
yes, you basically have to get rid
So,
of bombardment and
Guide Souls.
uh,
You don't
yeah, I
care
mean
about that.
I don't think you care about Guided Souls so much as you do like a turn one. You're more afraid of like a turn one Ragavan or an Ocelot Pride that gets out of control and you don't have a sweeper.
Right.
Otherwise, you don't really care what they're doing. Bombardment, Ragavan, and Ocelot Pride getting out of control. So,
All right. Yeah, so I think Control will be next. What do you got?
okay.
So what do you think? 3, 4%? 5%?
Yeah, I think 4% is kind of where we're at now with these down
Okay.
here. Hmm. I think Tron is still really good. Just like the prison decks. I don't think Tron is very good against Devoted Druid combo. It seems terrible for them.
Yeah. Gorios?
I think they're good against Scorio, so or at least decent against them. Maybe post sideboard having to deal with consign is pretty difficult. But I think people will play it just because it's like a powerful deck. But there's also been this resurgence of wizards, so I feel pulled there, right? When we say wizards, we're talking about the Cutter Urza
Is it
Saga
is
deck
it
with
so is it Cutters what the deck is called?
yeah, yeah. But some lists are still playing Flame of Anor, and Tamio and Emery are wizards. Is Loki a wizard? Who knows? Bilbo's not a wizard, obviously. People are playing Bilbo too. I think it's gonna be. We'll just say
Yeah. Yeah, because Is It Wizards is Tamio,
well,
Snapcaster.
again. I'm just kind of going based on what you want to call it. Metalcraft, Cutter. Is it Cutter? Is it Metalcraft? Yeah, it's
Names are all over the place, right?
yeah. People are just calling it a bunch of different stuff, and it's. But I think is it Cutter is the most distinguishable feature about it. What do you think? 4%? We'll just call this 4%. I think it what it won it. It won a challenge last night or 2 nights ago. What
Oh,
was
was
that?
it last night, right?
Yeah, last night it won.
Yeah, and
All
there's
right,
a few different ways you can go with the deck. So,
you're next.
oh,
What you
I'm
got?
next.
Yep.
Boros Ponds has fallen way off. That deck sucks.
You think? Where is it at here?
I mean,
Yeah, 2%er.
I won't say sucks, but that can win some stuff. But you play three basics, pretty good odds against it.
But I don't think Boros Ponza can lose against Devoted Druid. They just have so much spot removal and sweepers main. I don't.
Right.
I think it's an unlosable matchup, or pretty hard anyway. Maybe not unlosable, but
Mm,
and Gorios is usually only playing like one or two basics, and they're like a hate bears deck with a bunch of rest in peace.
yeah, are they playing Rest in Peace main?
I would be playing a couple main or at least one main or something.
Because I know there was a time they were playing high noons and rest in peace in the main, right?
Right? I don't think that's necessarily what they're doing
I
anymore.
know. See, Neoform.
Neoform?
Yeah, 3%. 3% Neoforms. Just turned to a bunch of people.
I'll just go Boros Panza. I'll say 3%. So this is what we got. This is kind of what I wanted to get to. This is like 2/3 of the meta. So
Yeah,
I think
perfect.
it's reasonable. And what date was this? So we did this on 20 August.
So you're gonna play Gorios?
No, not at all. I don't have any Gorios Vengeance. I mean, I could buy them, and I think I have most of the rest of the deck, but I don't want to play Gorios. It's not. It kind of reminds me of the Esper like persist deck with Archon of Cruelty. Like the heart of the deck is this low mana count mid-range deck that's trying to get value off of Ephemerate, and then it's you know its secondary plan is enacting this like mid-range control-ish plan, and then it's trying to sneak in an Archon or some big threat from the graveyard. And I'm not saying it's bad. I think even that deck was good, but I just didn't enjoy playing that style of deck. So
Yeah,
if I
so
were to play like a Solitude Ephemerate deck right now, I'd be playing Esper Blink.
yeah,
Yeah, I just think it has you can't really hate the deck. You know, it's not targetable. Granted, it's not as powerful. It doesn't have as impactful as a result as Goriosing a Gristlebrand or an Atraxa. But I just think it's
yeah. The deck grinds, right? It's got
yeah, it can grind.
Overlord of the Baelmer. Get back, Solitude your thing. Overlord, get back to Solitude. Just keep solituding over and over again.
Yes, yeah, that's really hard to deal with. So
You did some testing with Devoted Druid, right?
Voted Druid's crazy. It's a crazy deck. You cast 6 Unholy Heats against me, and how
You
many
still
spell
won,
bombs?
and you still won that game.
Cast spell bomb 5 times from the graveyard and 6 Unholy Heats, and I still won.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I think the deck is pretty resilient, and I
yeah.
think there's
I misplayed though. I should have won that game at that point.
because you didn't attack. What was the what was
Yeah, because I could have cut her to 2 turns earlier and done some stuff. I'm pretty sure. Then, yeah, figured it out this morning. Like, oh yeah, key to the side door. Just make some stuff unblockable. I was playing against Living End, and they're at 13, and I have a prowess guy out and an Emery, right?
yeah.
And I draw a Bilbo, and so I Emery cast a Bauble from the grave, untap. Emery with Manamo, cast another Bauble, cast a Skateboard from my hand, cast Bilbo, equip Bilbo, cast something else, attack, cast Galvanic Blast from the grave with Bilbo for 14. Dealt 14. I was like, oh shit.
That's pretty sick.
So that's the Izzet Cutter deck that I have. I only have one Bilbo on MTGO. So it's pretty much the Loki deck with one Bilbo in it.
Yeah, so why do you want to play that?
Why do I want to play it? I like Cutter. It's so easy to trigger Loki. I think Key to the Side Door is a pretty gross card with with 8 mocks and 16 legendary creatures. I'm drawing 2 cards a lot, right? It's easy to flip Tameo and then just making my dudes unblockable with Key to the Side Door. But it's too easy to trigger Loki. My turn, your turn, just drawing so many cards, and then just Cutter. I loved Cutter in Standard.
It's a good card
And Urza
for sure.
Saga is
Urza,
disgusting.
Urza Saga into skateboard is
Yeah,
pretty good.
let's go. So now I was all in on Song. Now I'm all in on this. So we'll see what I say next week. But I just want to, just have Bilbo do some kick flips.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about Cutter's matchup into this meta. How's that sound?
Okay.
So how do you feel against like Gorios and why?
How do I feel against Gorios?
Yeah.
I feel decent. Um,
Do you bring in Crips from the board?
yeah, and I have either a Crypt or a Soul Guide Lantern in the main that I could
In the
just
main
keep replaying with either
with Emery.
Bilbo or Emery.
Yeah.
And
You can go
that's
get that with Saga too.
go get it with Saga also.
Respect. Okay.
And
You
just
have a
early
game plan.
early
Mulligan
cutter.
to a Saga or have the Soul Guide Lantern game one, right?
Yeah. Or an early cutter and just run them over, right? But you need the
I don't
grave
know.
hate.
Early cutter? Can you do turn one cutter and act and trigger it?
No.
Yeah, that's not really
No,
happening
no.
ever, is it?
Yeah. No, turn two's the earliest, so
Because you would have to go land like Opal, Amber, Bobble,
and just time
activate it, and then cast another one. That's 6 cards.
and just bounce or kill their frog, bounce or heat their frog, and just timely counter spells, right?
Yeah. Force negations in the board too.
Force negations in the board, rebukes in the main, 4 unholy heats. Seems pretty good.
Okay. Post board, they're bringing in Wrath of the Skies against you.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah,
feel against that? You counter them.
hopefully I have a force, yeah.
Hopefully they don't thought seize your force, and
I mean, but I've been raft and build back up, right?
for sure.
That's it's a
It,
pain in
it's
the
hard.
butt, but
It's hard to Wrath Emery,
right.
right? Because it's 3 mana. Even though it costs 1 or 2, it's a
Yeah, I've had cast wrath against me and leave me with a Loki and an Emery, right?
yeah.
I'm
That's
like, I'm like, all right, cool, cool. Let's just cast this bauble and draw 2 more cards.
right.
The deck seems fun.
What about against Blink? Any?
I have,
It's got to be. I mean, you got to be like the better mid range deck, right?
yeah, I would think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I did beat blank too.
What about Blood Chief? You just unholy heat their thing.
Yeah, just side in the more removal, right?
Do, do
We
you
got
have
some
any decent artifact hate to deal with Blood Chief and Urza Saga?
just flame and haywire might.
Haywire Might.
Yeah,
Yeah, you want those for Saga. And, yeah, okay.
yeah, you got two mites in the side, so they'll come in.
So we
Devoted
skipped
Druid.
over Devoted Druid combo. Is that
Yeah, that's tough.
that's tough? Yeah.
I think it's winnable, but tough.
Like 60-40 tough.
Yeah,
Okay. At least
right.
by our assessment.
Yeah,
So we'll have
we
to
ran that
test that.
matchup. We ran that matchup the other night. It's tough. Like Devoted Druid turn threes most games, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Like 60% of the time it works every time.
It is
So yeah. And then against energy, just need my removal. Don't let them resolve a goblin bombardment. We'll be all right.
yeah. Yeah, Goblin Bombardment's pretty bad. I mean, I don't know how bad it really is. Like if they're doing the Ajani or like making Ocelot Prides, you're probably already in a pretty bad spot. So it's funny how Goblin Bombardment's like the best card in Boros Energy. It's stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, you think I need some pyroclasms in the side for Cutter, right?
Or for Devoted Druid. I think you need one at least. I mean, like Flame of Anor doesn't like Flame of Anor is good against Blood Chief. It's good against Prowess. It's good against the Mirror. I guess that's really it though. Like you can use it as like a mid-range card against control and other mid-range decks, but I don't know. I think you need some removal, like a sweeper of some kind there. But
Try that out.
what do you think about Dimir Frog against that deck? Dimir Frog can't handle Urza Saga, can't handle resolved cutters.
Yeah, not very well.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I think I'm favored against Frog. I mean, they're gonna leave their Frog back to block my Cutter. I'm not drawing extra cards, right? Then just bounce it. Aether Spellbomb, rinse, repeat.
What about blue white control? How do you feel about that?
Did we run that?
Yeah, we
No.
played at least 2 games.
I think post board it gets better.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, blue white control is going to bring in dispute, and if they're not running 4 Wrath of the Skies main, they're going to bring in another Wrath of the Skies.
Yeah. I think an early cutter helps.
Early cutter is very good. Yeah. Turn 2 cutter is good. I honestly think Urza Saga is better because if they don't Wrath end a turn on chapter 2, you make a construct and then you untap, make a construct, and have the mana to equip a skateboard, and you're hitting them for
A
10.
lot. Yeah.
So, which is what led me to talking about Ren and 6. And I mean, the deck is already splashing green for the Haywire My activation. You already have Mox Opal to add any colors to conceivably cast some number of Ren and 6. And then you also have a Flip Tameo that allows you to make green with Mox Amber. And I think that you're basically killing your opponent with Urza Saga or Cutter. Like those are the two ways that you're like truly killing your opponent. So and again, I think that there's something there where you could like maybe play some Ottawaras because you have so many legendary creatures. Your Ottawaras are super cheap, and then activating Key to the City with an Ottawara already in play, I think is pretty good. It kind of negates some of the imbalance of playing extra legendary lands. I don't know. And then if you have a Ren and 6 going without a War, I think it's just like another form of recursive interaction. Whether you're picking it up to bounce your opponent's threat or you're picking it up to discard it to key to the side door to draw 2 cards, I think either of those is good. I don't think you want to play like a full playset of Ren and 6, but I think that there's something there to playing multiple of them.
It's worth testing for sure.
Yeah.
We'll try it. We'll run it. Run it Saturday.
Panza, how do you feel about Panza? That's got to be tough, right? Just because
Yeah.
there are 4 Wrath of the Skies. How many basics are in there?
2. Yeah, not enough. That's a tough matchup.
I mean, the thing about Panza is they don't have like a lot of card advantage and card selection engines, so I mean, but they're just like a ton of removal and land destruction effects. I mean, Demolition Fields playing 8 of those, so we'll see.
Yeah, that's a really tough matchup. So I can see more people trying to play that if these kind of decks are going to be popular.
Yeah, yeah, because Panza good against Boros? Maybe not 3 color energy, but it's probably pretty hard for it to beat 2 color Boros, right?
Yeah.
It's probably too slow for prowess. Trudge has 4 forests, so I doubt it beats Trudge. I think it might be too slow for Devoted, but I don't know. It's playing Solitudes and 8 1 mana removal spells or 11 1 mana removal spells, and then land interaction, and they're basically only running 2 forests. So I don't know. So I think if depending upon how the testing goes with Is It Cutter for you, I could be sold to play that deck. I do want to try Demir Frog one last time, but at this point, I'm most likely to play Blue White Control. I've got a lot of reps with it. I've felt pretty good against a lot of different decks. It's just I've got a ton of reps with Narset and Teferis, and
Yeah,
I
that's
think
your
I
jam.
know how to sequence the counter spells and such. So we'll just kind of have to see. How do we think? And I think Blue White Control against Gorios, Esper Blink, Devoted Druid, Blood Chief. Those are all positive matchups. I think Boros is close. I think we're behind against Prowess, behind against Demir, and then I would say even with Is It Cutter and Neoform and ahead against Boros Ponza. So to really only be behind against two of these decks,
That's not bad.
and then to be even with another two or three, and then ahead with the rest, I think that that's like a really good spread.
Yeah, and you're comfortable with the deck, right? So,
Yeah.
and that's your bread and butter.
Yeah, I think we need to play Devoted Druid a little bit more too and just see how that feels, to see how gross it truly is. I mean, we have Cubs now, so
Nice.
um,
Yeah, in our testing the other night, it's funny. It's like, it's like, I don't know. And you're like, oh, wait, I just win here.
yeah. It takes, and I'm sure I'm not playing it optimally. I doubt I'm. I think that I'm wasting Green Sun Zenith on Dryad Arbor too much, and I should probably just be holding it to go get Devoted Druid at some points or
Yeah,
just some other threat. But yeah, one of the games against Mike was playing Neoform, and he was able to like force consign one of my turns where I was going to combo off, but then he was kind of kept a slower hand, and he ended up getting a Neoform off, slammed a Galta, and then put his last 2 cards in hand were a Gristlebrand and some other big creature. But he had to cast a Pact, and he only had 3 land in play, so he had to draw a consign. He was
yeah.
at like 17 though, or he was at 14 or
So you
something
can
like
only
that.
activate Grizzlebrand once.
Right, and I had a giant walking ballista that I cast a ballista on 6, and then the next turn I was going to untap, and then I couldn't kill him outright, but I was going to dump a bunch more mana into it, so I thought it was going to be pretty good. Just, I think
Oh, and then
ballista,
he just didn't draw the pact. The consign?
I'm not sure what he could have.
Or how'd you win
Oh,
that?
I was casting a spell that was making my ballista lethal.
Okay.
Basically, I was casting a spell where I would have had enough mana to put enough counters on my ballista to kill him. And so he had to draw a pact to counter with the spell I was casting. Because I think I was just casting a cub, which would have made it lethal just by shooting him. So,
Yeah, was that one game? I had 3 Cubs and a Leyline of Abundance in play.
yeah, what were you playing against that game?
That was blue white, right? Or you know you were on the cutter deck.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was a lot of math.
ton of math with the deck for sure. Ton of math and sequencing to optimize your mana, and but then you have to get comfortable enough with the sequences to then think about them with your opponent's interaction in mind. And I think that's the next level to get to. And I think that is going to take a lot of practice. So yeah, we got some work to do. I
Yeah,
think, I think, so if you don't play Cutter, what do you play?
a song or a frog deck.
Song or Frog? Okay.
Yeah,
So you're down to a Mox Opal deck or a Frog deck, which I
yeah.
respect.
Blue white or devoted, or what are
Or
the other two?
or or Frog. I don't think I would play. Is it Cutter? I don't know, unless we tune it in a way that I love. But let's see. Let's see. Yeah. So we've narrowed it down to at least a few decks, but I think the idea is, I think what's next is we got to go in with a plan for testing on Saturday to see how we evaluate these decks and to come out with a decision like, all right, this is what I'm gonna play, one way or another, you know.
Yeah,
And then we'll actually have a sideboard plan together and go from there.
instead of writing it the night before. Perfect.
Or the morning of. That's the
Yeah,
best
yeah,
way to that's the best way to do it. Like just pick your 75 willy-nilly and sideboard map after the fact.
yeah. You should
Not
just write. You should just sideboard map on the plane. I know we're wasting this plane time.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening thus far. Give us a follow or click somewhere on these social medias. And good luck if you're going to Dallas. I'll see you there.
Yeah, come say hi to Joe. Find Joe.
Yeah, and then we've got a couple more weeks, Pete. So we'll have two more episodes between now and Dallas, three more episodes with a Dallas recap before Baltimore. Final thoughts going into the Baltimore RC. So that'll be good.
Yeah, I like it. All right, my guys. See
See you
y'all
next
next
week.
week.
Peace.